We are
Gilbert.
and George. We are here in Hobart to celebrate the opening of our art exhibition.
The last time that we had an exhibition in Australia was in 1973 when we did the singing sculpture in Sydney and in Melbourne. And it was quite an event for us because we used to do the singing sculpture every single day. In the evening we used to be drunk the whole night away with all the Australians who were very happy to be with us.
Celebrating. It was an extraordinary event. It took over the whole of Australian newspapers, and there were competitions even to be like Gilbert and George, and there were winners of the competition. We even did a drinking sculpture with the interviewer, and they used that as an interlude on television for many years.
For many, many years, just drinking gin and tonic.
So in a strange way, just doing those two shows in Sydney and Melbourne 43 years ago now, and it became part of our history and part of Australian art history.
Yes.
We believe it's already in the school curriculum for art history for children, modern art in Australia.
But in some way they felt they had enough and they never invited us back. They tried to invite us back many, many times to do shows, but they never materialized. I don't know why. We went to Sydney, and we went to Sydney, we went to Melbourne, we went to Brisbane, nearly did a show, but nothing happened. Except we had a small show in Monaco last year, and the curator of that exhibition was Cristiano Raimondo, and he went through the park, I don't know which park, and he met Olivier Véran. And they were discussing this whole idea that I had a show that maybe they should be taken to Tasmania.
And that's how it happened. Main central core is quite extraordinary because it's more than 40 pictures from the collection of the late Massimo Martino. His widow took over the collection. She's adding to it, so it becomes a real modern collection. He collected very few artists, but each one very intensively. So he has works from 1971 right up until recent years. And then outside of that core of the exhibition, there's a huge group bang in the beginning of the show of our scapegoating pictures, the ones which took on new resonance with the bombing and the horrors in Paris. And then we have the London pictures, which are also full of teenage and terror and fears and all these killings and so on. And then beyond that it's the...
We have the Jack Freak. We started out with the Jack, the Freak, and then we added the Jack on top of it. And so I thought they are quite relevant for Australia.
Absolutely.
And after that, the third part is pieces that they are the shockable pieces that we could never sell, like naked shit pictures and all the stuff that's more complicated. They belong to us, so that part is ours. And then at the end, number 4, is the big room where we show the very big pieces because the walls are taller.
And that includes the big triptych, scapegoating, which is extraordinary to show it here. I think we've always been involved with the content and the meaning. We were brought up in an art world and with art schools that were almost entirely to do with form. They like shapes and lines and contours and angles and squares and rectangles, circles. And we wanted an art which was to do with death,
Hope,
life,
fear,
sex,
money,
race.
and religion.
And all of those things were taboo in the early 70s. You only had to do black, white, grey, brown, leather, stone, truth to materials. And we wanted an art which was like our first years in London. We were in the Tottenham Court Road, the centre of London. And we were next to Soho, we were next to Covent Garden. Outside was Foyle's bookshop, the most famous bookshop in the world, Tottenham Court Road, full of all the latest technology. 2 yards from Trafalgar Square, from the Houses of Parliament, and we felt we were in the centre of the universe. And we wanted to make an art which could approach anyone, any visitor to London, wherever they came from, whatever their educational background or religion or creed